Welcome back to the channel, folks. Today we're exploring 10 bizarre German tractors you won't believe exist. From odd prototypes to legendary powerhouses with quirky design features, these hidden gems once roamed German fields, some way back in the early 1900s. Let's dive into these remarkable contraptions and see how they forever changed the tractor game. Number 10. Land's Bulldog HL12. When it comes to bizarre yet pioneering tractors, the Land's Bulldog HL12 has to be on the list. Produced by Heinrich Lanz AG of Mannheim, Germany, and first rolling out around 1921, the HL12 was part of the famous Bulldog series that popularized the hot bulb engine concept in agricultural machinery. This early model was known for its heavy flywheel and single-cylinder hot bulb engine, which provided decent torque at a time when farmers were transitioning from steam power to internal combustion. One of the more curious aspects of the HL12 was the loud popping sound produced by its hot bulb engine, a trait that earned it quite a bit of local notoriety. The design might look peculiar today, especially with that prominent horizontal cylinder up front, but it proved straightforward and robust for the era. The tractor's power rating hovered around 12 horsepower, which sounds laughably small by modern standards. But let's be real, that was plenty for plowing modest fields in the 1920s. Its reliability meant owners didn't have to fuss over complicated maintenance routines, which was a serious selling point back then. In terms of cultural impact, the HL12 effectively kickstarted the Land's Bulldog line, paving the way for subsequent models that would become a staple across Europe. The Bulldog moniker itself became so recognizable that, in some regions, any single-cylinder tractor was colloquially called a Bulldog. This early tractor simplicity, paired with a no-nonsense design, made it a piece of living history, a testament to German engineering that still turns heads at vintage tractor rallies. Number 9. Hanomag R40. Next up is the Hanomag R40, introduced around 1938 by Hannoversche Maschinenbau. While Hanomag initially focused on producing steam locomotives, they eventually ventured into tractors, unveiling models that were anything but ordinary for their time. The R40 featured a rugged diesel engine that delivered about 40 horsepower, an impressive figure in the late 1930s when many competitors were still underpowered or relying on cumbersome hot bulb technology. The R40 earned its bizarre credentials partly from its distinctive styling, a sloping hood, rounded edges, and a tall, upright exhaust stack that dominated its silhouette. Designed for medium to large-scale farming, it quickly proved popular in Germany's agricultural heartlands. Despite the global conflicts of the era, the R40 soldiered on, finding utility in towing heavy loads and handling a variety of farm implements. The model's direct injection diesel technology was particularly advanced for a tractor of this period, showcasing Hanomag's commitment to mechanical innovation. Historically, the R40 helped bolster Germany's post-war reconstruction efforts. After World War II, many of these tractors were pressed into service to rebuild farms, roads, and small industries. They became symbolic of resilience and recovery, a tractor that could handle tough tasks and seemingly keep chugging along forever. This no-nonsense approach gave Hanomag a loyal following among farmers who wanted robust equipment that wouldn't quit. Even today, the R40 stands out at tractor shows, reminding enthusiasts of an era when practicality and durability reigned supreme. For many middle-aged collectors and restoration buffs, seeing an R40 rattle by can trigger waves of nostalgia, a throwback to a time when horsepower was hard-earned and engineering was at its most hands-on. Before we fire up the next bizarre German invention, take a second to like and subscribe. 98% of you watch without subscribing. Kind of like building a tractor with square wheels. It's free, fast, and helps keep this weird tractor content coming. Danke to those who already do. Number 8. Doutitz F1414. The Doutitz F1414, introduced in 1936, may not look especially wild at first glance, but it certainly qualifies as bizarre when you consider the era's experimental engineering. Manufactured by Motor and Fabrik Doutitz, the F1M414 marked one of the earliest forays into compact single-cylinder diesel tractors. While most competitors were still perfecting multi-cylinder or hot bulb setups, Doutitz went for a straightforward approach that emphasized simplicity and reliability. Historical brochures show that it ran at roughly 11 horsepower, modest but enough for small farm plots. What made it notable was its water-cooled diesel engine, which, at the time, was standard for agricultural machinery in that class. Water cooling was common during this period, and Deutz's use of it aligned with industry norms. Despite its small stature, the F1M414 could handle light plowing, hauling, and even some orchard work with relative ease. In cultural terms, the F1M414 played a role in modernizing smaller farms that couldn't afford or justify a giant tractor. For many family-run operations, it symbolized a new wave of mechanization that put an end to relying solely on horses or oxen. Owning a Deutz wasn't just about practicality, it signified progress. To this day, you'll find vintage tractor enthusiasts who swear by its bulletproof engine design. Spotting one in a barn today can instantly transport folks back to the 1930s and 40s when that bright green paint job meant you were stepping into modern times. Its unassuming frame and modest power might seem quaint now, but back then it revolutionized how small-scale German farmers worked their land. Number 7. Fent Diesel Ross F20. Fent's Diesel Ross series emerged in the 1930s and quickly set a new standard for agricultural machinery in Germany. Among those models, the F20 introduced around 1938 carried the Diesel Ross, meaning diesel horse, nickname, which came to symbolize Fent's entire tractor line. According to company archives, the F20 packed around 20 horsepower and featured a single-cylinder diesel engine that was surprisingly efficient for its day. What makes it truly peculiar, at least to modern eyes, is its minimalist, almost bare-bones design, which left many of the engine components easily visible and accessible. The real magic of the Diesel Ross series lay in its direct-injection diesel system and advanced transmission options. While these might seem par for the course now, back in the late 1930s, it was cutting-edge tech that let farmers shift through gears more smoothly, making day-to-day tasks less of a chore. The F20 was also well regarded for its ability to plow fields with minimal fuss, even in tougher soil conditions, which endeared it to farmers who were tired of dealing with mechanical quirks common in other early diesel tractors. From a cultural standpoint, the F20 and its sibling models helped shape Fent's reputation for durable, farmer-friendly machines. You could say the brand loyalty started here with a tractor that was more than just a workhorse, it was a symbol of hard work paying off. Much like the name implies, the Diesel Ross became the trustworthy steed that carried German agriculture into a new era of diesel-powered efficiency. Even decades later, restored F20s can still be found parading around at vintage fairs, reminding folks of a time when engineering breakthroughs and hands-on craftsmanship gave birth to some truly unforgettable machines that continue to spark warm, nostalgic feelings. Number 6. Porsche Diesel Super. Yes, you read that right. Porsche once made tractors. While the Porsche diesel brand might sound like an oddball twist, it was a serious endeavor that began in the 1950s, resulting in several models collectively known as the Porsche Diesel series. According to various historical advertisements, these red-liveried machines came in different classes like Junior, Standard, and the Super variant. The Porsche Diesel Super was a mid-range model that typically offered around 38 horsepower, thanks to its air-cooled 4-stroke diesel engine. What makes it bizarre today is that most people associate the Porsche name with high-performance sports cars, not farm tractors. But Ferdinand Porsche initially envisioned an affordable people's tractor, akin to the Volkswagen concept in automobiles, incorporating designs that stressed efficiency and cost-effectiveness. The Super had a distinctive curved hood, reminiscent of Porsche's automotive styling, and some owners joke that it's the only tractor that can claim a sports car heritage. In reality, these machines were practical. They featured a multi-speed transmission, easy maintenance, and a robust build. The cultural impact of the Porsche diesel line transcended the fields it plowed. It gave the Porsche brand an unexpected foothold in rural communities and broadened the company's engineering expertise beyond just cars. Collectors today go wild over these tractors, sometimes paying hefty sums for restored models. Spotting one at a tractor show can spark curiosity and a flood of "wait, Porsche-made tractors?" questions. That novelty factor, combined with its functional design, makes it a prime candidate for any list of bizarre German tractors. And let's face it, telling your buddies you have a Porsche tractor in the garage is a guaranteed conversation starter that perfectly captures the spirit of Germany's versatile industrial history. Number 5. Aker Panther EM295. Aker may not be as globally recognized as some German tractor manufacturers, but it played a pivotal role in the post-war period, particularly with models like the Panther EM295 introduced around 1959. This tractor was part of Aker's move toward more robust air-cooled diesel engines, a hallmark of the brand. According to surviving promotional brochures, the EM295 delivered between 25 and 30 horsepower, which landed it squarely in the medium-duty category. Its somewhat boxy, straightforward design set it apart from more streamlined competitors, contributing to its bizarre charm today. At the heart of the Panther EM295 was Aker's own air-cooled diesel engine, an engineering choice that simplified maintenance and reduced the risk of radiator damage. Beyond its unique cooling system, the tractor offered a range of gear options that made it versatile for plowing, tilling, and general hauling tasks. Many rural communities across Germany and later in export markets admired Aker for producing reliable machines that didn't require complicated upkeep or specialized parts, key factors when you're miles away from a dealership. In terms of cultural impact, the Panther series helped Aker gain a dedicated following in Germany's agricultural sector. Even if it never reached the global acclaim of, say, the Land's Bulldog or Porsche Diesel, it cemented Aker's reputation for practical design. Farmers appreciated the brand's focus on no-frills engineering, and the tractors often stayed in service for decades. For many middle-aged folks today, seeing an EM295 still running evokes memories of riding around farmland as kids or watching older relatives tinker under the hood. Its robust frame and distinctive engine chatter have become icons of a bygone era, a time when the big mechanical sound of a diesel engine spelled progress and opportunity for farming communities. Number 4. Kramer KL11. Introduced in the early 1950s, the Kramer KL11 became something of an icon for small-scale German farming. Kramer Werk, based in Gutmattingen, Germany, was renowned for producing compact tractors that delivered efficiency without excessive complexity. The KL11 was a two-cylinder diesel model, putting out around 11 to 14 horsepower depending on the variant. This little powerhouse was tailored for vineyard and orchard work, thanks to its relatively narrow width and tight turning radius. What sets the KL11 apart, and merits the label bizarre, is how Kramer engineered the tractor for stability on sloping terrains. Its low center of gravity, combined with a straightforward design, allowed it to navigate inclines with remarkable ease. That engineering choice was essential in regions like the Black Forest or along the Rhine's terraced vineyards, where farmland often isn't the flat expanse you might find elsewhere. Many farmers of the day lauded it for reducing the risk of rollovers, a huge concern back when safety features were rudimentary at best. Culturally speaking, the KL11 played a part in making commercial-scale viticulture more mechanized. Prior to tractors like this, vineyard maintenance was grueling, manual labor. The KL11 helped smaller wine producers manage their operations more efficiently, boosting output and profitability in tight spaces. Even now, you'll find a devoted Kramer fanbase that proudly restores these machines for agricultural shows, parades, and personal collections. Seeing one still running with its distinct mechanical chatter can transport observers back to the era of post-war Germany, where each innovation, no matter how small, helped rebuild the economy and modernize farm life. The KL11 might not be the biggest or most glamorous tractor on this list, but it undoubtedly earns its stripes as an enduring symbol of German ingenuity. Number 3. GNER A20. GNER, founded in Aschaffenburg, Germany, is a name that often slips under the radar when discussing classic tractors. Yet, in the 1930s, they introduced the A-Series, including the A20, which has more than its share of eccentricities. The A20 generally produced around 20 horsepower from its two-cylinder diesel engine, putting it squarely in the mid-range for that time. One of the quirkier aspects was its layout. The engine and transmission were assembled in such a way that service points were readily accessible, ideal for farmers who wanted to make quick fixes. While that might not sound bizarre, consider how some competing models forced users to dismantle half the tractor just to replace a worn belt. The A20's thoughtful design looked odd in silhouette, sporting a somewhat elongated nose and a small passenger platform behind the driver's seat, a feature more commonly associated with larger tractors. Historically, the A20 and its siblings helped GNER stand out in a crowded market of German manufacturers. Its reliability and user-friendly maintenance made it popular among farmers who needed to keep their machinery running with minimal downtime. The brand eventually became part of the larger industrial conglomerate Linde, but these earlier tractors remain a testament to GNER's independent roots. From a nostalgic perspective, the A20 symbolizes a transitional moment in German agriculture, when small family farms were embracing technology they'd once thought unattainable. Even decades later, owners who grew up around these machines fondly recall the distinct sound of that diesel engine rattling across the fields. The A20 might not have achieved superstar status like the Lance Bulldog, but it exemplifies the inventive spirit that turned pre-war Germany into a hotbed of agricultural engineering. Number 2, FAR T22. Before merging into what became Doutitz F1414, the FAR company carved out a notable place in Germany's tractor scene with models like the T22. Launched around 1938, this machine came equipped with a twin-cylinder diesel engine pumping out roughly 22 horsepower. The T22 stood out for its relatively compact frame, balanced by robust construction that earned it a reputation as a little tank on farmland. Why label it bizarre? Primarily because of its unconventional design choices. The T22's front grille and engine cowling gave it a slightly bug-eyed appearance, and the steering column sat at an angle that looked almost improvised. In reality, these quirks serve practical ends. A more forward-facing column improved visibility, while the ample grille area helped with air intake, especially important for a diesel engine prone to overheating if poorly ventilated. At the time, these features made the T22 unique among its contemporaries. Beyond its distinct exterior, the T22 played a role in pushing tractor technology forward. FAR focused on making attachments simpler to mount, and that user-centric philosophy would later influence how Doutitz F1414 approached modern tractors. For farmers in the late 1930s and early 1940s, owning a T22 meant quicker transitions from plowing to sowing or harvesting, saving both time and manpower. Economical, tough, and oddly endearing to look at, the T22 left an imprint on rural Germany. Today, vintage tractor enthusiasts who come across a well-restored T22 often marvel at how a machine this old can still chug along reliably. It's a rolling reminder that innovation sometimes emerges from the simplest of design tweaks. Looking back, this tractor encapsulates the era's can-do spirit, which resonates with anyone nostalgic for a period when elbow grease and ingenuity were the keys to success. Number 1, Hatz TL13. Topping off our list is the Hatz TL13, a tractor that truly earns the bizarre moniker with its unconventional engineering. Produced by Hatz Motor and Fabrik, more famous for industrial engines than for tractors, the TL13 combined innovative diesel technology with a distinctive body style. According to surviving company documents, this model typically offered around 13 horsepower from an air-cooled single-cylinder diesel engine. The brand's long-standing expertise in stationary engines meant they knew how to squeeze maximum efficiency out of minimal horsepower. A feature that set the TL13 apart was its vertical engine placement, which gave the front an elongated look and provided decent ground clearance. This was beneficial in uneven terrain, but it also added a quirk to the overall design. Some versions even included a convertible drawbar that simplified switching between different farm implements. The tractor's slow but steady torque made it a favorite for small holdings that required daily chores done reliably, from pulling carts of hay to powering belts for threshing machines. Hatz didn't produce tractors in massive numbers, so spotting a TL13 nowadays can be akin to finding a rare gem at a flea market. Yet, its influence shouldn't be overlooked. The TL13 and other Hatz tractors showed how versatile an air-cooled diesel could be in an agricultural context, helping pave the way for later manufacturers to embrace similar designs. For many enthusiasts who grew up around small German farms in the mid-1900s, the sight and unmistakable sound of a TL13 trudging across a field evokes a wave of nostalgia. In a lineup of bizarre German tractors, it takes the number 1 slot for its unusual mix of industrial engineering flair and modest agricultural utility, proving that sometimes great things really do come in small, oddly shaped packages. Thanks for riding along on this nostalgic tour of Germany's most bizarre tractors. When all is said and done, these machines exemplify what happens when innovation, resilience, and a dash of eccentricity collide. Hope you found this video helpful and learned something new about these unique farm legends. If you love diving into vintage engineering and want more in-depth looks at fascinating machines from history, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We have plenty more old-school wonders in store. Stay tuned.